So Remix is a really fantastic exhibition, and I'm really honored to be a part of it and be a part of this conversation. I think the notion of Remix is an imperative, integral part of the Black American experience. And I say that because, we have this term remix, which is, in many ways a very modern, contemporary term, and we associate with like hip hop music and stuff like that. But this notion of remix and what a remix actually does is something that has been a part of the Black American experience from as far back as you can go. We've been remixing things to make it work for our experience and for our reality and for our purpose, for our salvation. I did an interview talking about the exhibition recently where I talked about how soul food was a remix, on plantations, when the enslaved people would not have access to full meals. They would take the scraps of food and, create new concoctions and new experiences with that food that would make it palatable for them. So you have things like gumbo and succotash and all these kinds of things that come from just combining whatever you had, making it taste good. And then now that's like a delicacy. Now it's people come from all over to have Black Southern food. But it has its roots in being remixed meals that came from the big house. Just in the many different ways African Americans have found ways to navigate the social ills and the oppressions against them, have been, in finding ways to remix the realities and essentially the scraps that were given to them to make them into something desirable and something beautiful. Everything from, like I said, from food to fashion to music. Hip hop itself is a remix of, that came out of a lack of arts programs and music programs in the 70s and 80s when those things were taken out of the schools, and the children who had musical inclinations didn't have access to music anymore. They didn't have a band class. They couldn't play music anymore. And so they took their mother's record players and they figured out how to make sounds with it, They didn't have a public park to hang out at. And so they figured out how to go up on a light post and jack the electricity from the light post so that they can put up speakers and set up a DJ table and play music, in the street for people to have a party. All of these things are remixing your reality, creating a new way for you to be a part of a narrative that has tried to write you out. It's like not the words on the pages, but the spaces in between the lines, that this art emerges and that this experience speaks to.